very good first half of the race, but things have gone sour here in the second half. Still a good run for Simone.
And that overhead shot really gives you an idea.
We're going
full course.
Yep, going full course. Caution, guys. This is going to be interesting.
Ooh. So that overhead view of that gap between Elio and Will, forget about it. Forget about it.
Yep.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
So Simone Di Silvestro is stalled on course, and so we will have another full course caution. Tim Cindric, first and second for Team Penske, and Mike Hall, well, he's looking at his target Chip Ganassi guys running third and fourth.
And Cindric was pretty chatty there with his guy Elio. Did you notice there? He was just kind of chatting right away with him.
This is going to get interesting here in the last few laps. We'll take a break and be right back for it. Next time around, we'll get the green flag and resume racing. But now the question comes, how many overtake assists these guys have?
You can see the numbers scrolling across the top. That is how many are left.
Castroneves with 8, Dixon with 12. Lindy.
Hey, Tim Cindric, first of all, with Will behind you, does that scare you or make you feel a little more comfortable?
Well, anytime you got guys running 1, 2, or 3 to go, that's a good thing. But certainly it'll be interesting here with the red and black tire mix.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This last stop, the tires really affected this.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here. It's going to be interesting.
Strategy on it?
Sorry?
Strategy on it?
Just go.
Just go, Robbie.
Clive Howell, tell me about the car and Will Power. He's the only one on the blacks up front. How bad is it hurting him, or is it?
Well, obviously Elio got by us on the restart because the Reds came up to speed quicker, but you know, it's a shame it went yellow here. We were reeling him in. So anyway.
Thanks, Clive. Guys,
I think the thing you want to watch is when Justin Wilson did a restart in Toronto on Reds, he got all kind of pickup. Watch them weave from side to side. It's going to be really important for Castroneves to keep his tires clean, because the Reds, because they're softer, pick up more. So watch him just aggressively weave side to side. If it's not clean, he'll get passed by Will Power.
And that's that same scenario. Wilson was on the Reds.
Right.
And the one guy that was behind him is that guy right there. So
Power on the blacks. So here we go.
Heading down into turn 11 and now over to 12. We'll see who uses overtake assist on the restart here. Here they come.
Oh, he's slowing right down.
If it goes green up in the upper right, it will mean he's on it. Off of corner 14. Here we go. 3 laps to go.
Power is on the overtake. Looking to the outside, just like he did to Wilson.
Can't do it. In fact, he loses second to Dixon.
Dixon, Franchitti looks now.
Dixon just forces his way through.
Power back to third.
He was trying to carry that momentum on the outside going into 1.
And he had to give his teammate room. He had to get a little bit wide to be sure he didn't take out Castroneves. He left the door open, and Scott Dixon pounced.
But what a great, I mean, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You're here to win.
Power got on the overtake assist early, trying to get the jump, but here's what happened as they went into 1. He's to the outside.
And he's ahead of him right there, but he doesn't have the inside. Look at him slide.
He starts to slide, and he can't pinch Castroneves anymore. And then, of course, Dixon just aggressively says, "I'm coming through."
Well, he saw he saw Power up there just sliding around on the top side.
Castroneves with a drive-through for blocking?
What? I don't. We got to see where that is, guys.
Well, that has to be turn 1. But I mean, when you're the leader, you can pick your lane. And here's Briscoe. Look at him putting the move on Tracy,
and vice versa. How that was.
They're going to.
Wow.
Scott Dixon is the leader of this race. They are going to penalize Elio for blocking. Jack.
Fellas, at the drivers' meeting, what Brian Barnhart explained to all the drivers, entering a corner, you have to declare one lane or the other, the outside lane or the inside lane. That's what Elio Castroneves did. But then he changed lanes. That's why he's being given that penalty. That's the only way Brian says he's able to determine if someone is trying to overtly block. Leader be damned. Remember it happened to Elio at Detroit a couple of years ago with Justin Wilson?
Well, you know, Jack, at a restart, he picked the right, and he stayed right. As far as I'm concerned, he stayed right.
Maybe we don't know what those defined lanes are when we're talking the big footprint of tarmac there being a runway. I don't know.
We're on the last lap, and Scott Dixon is the leader.
If I'm Castro Neves, I stay out, and I argue after.
Yeah.
They will stop scoring you after, I think it's 2 laps, so maybe he can get to the checkered before they stop scoring him, and then he can.
Yeah, well, whatever. Right now, he's
going
to be coming to the checkered flag anyhow.
I mean, he still is leading because he hasn't served his penalty. I mean, they may take it away with another penalty, but he still is the leader physically on the track until they stop scoring him. They wanted to take it away with a drive-through, but he hasn't given it yet.
And he's coming to the checkered flag right now.
Here comes the checkered flag.
And he's going to take the checkered flag on the racetrack.
Elliott will take it first, but did Scott Dixon win the race? Oh, man, what an afternoon of racing.
Kind of wondering where we go with all this right now, huh?
Another win, I guess, for Chip Ganassi. He won earlier today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Brickyard 400, and apparently wins with Scott Dixon here in Edmonton. Robbie Floyd.
I'm here with Tim Cindric. Tim, what was the call for you? Stay out and, fight it later?
They said to drive through. I'm not driving the car. So, why we end up with that inconsistency all day long, I have no idea. Whether that's good for the series, I guess only Randy can decide whether that's the right thing for the series or not. So, I hope they enjoy it.
Elio's driving the car, but tell me what you saw. He's in the lead. He does what he wants to do.
He's driving the car. From my end of the officials tell me he needs to drive through. I tell him he needs to drive through. He's driving the car as far as whether he does or not.
You think he did everything he should have going into that first turn?
I'd have to see the replay. You guys have seen it more times than I have. But to take a race away from somebody like this, I'm not real sure how this works.
Thanks a lot, Tim. You can tell right now he's just waiting to see what the aftermath is. He's disappointed, but he may have a positive outcome later down the road.
Well, we're taking a look at the replay, and that's a close call.
It is. You can see that there's a lane there, and then he comes back to the left a little bit. But I don't know if it changed anything, guys.
Yeah. Well, in any case, it is Dixon's 24th career open wheel win.
But take a look as they come down, and the overhead shot that we saw before is perfect. And if you can stop it right here briefly, there is a lane defined somewhere here that you're supposed to leave open. That's okay where he is now. Now go ahead and roll it. Let the cars roll sort of across the line. And you'll see that he maintains a line, and then he's moving out to the middle here because he has to turn into the corner. I don't think he's blocking. I don't think he's changing his line in response.
And that's what I'm saying.
Don't often see Elio emotional like this and angry. That was Kevin Blanche that he was having words with.
The reason he is upset is because he did not chop his teammate. He chose a line. Once Will Power swung out, he swung out a little more so he could turn into the corner. Now, if Brian Barnhart has defined a line you don't cross, that's got to be his call.
Yeah, you're right, but I don't think it wouldn't have affected that outcome either way. It wasn't that. And like I say, for Elio to be that upset about it, he doesn't think he did that at all. He wasn't intentionally doing anything to have that kind of mannerism right now.
Right. Charles Burns, one of the security people that worked for the IZOD IndyCar Series.
Don't take on the security, guys.
No. Charles is a former state trooper here in Indiana.
He was very relaxed.
Well, I don't know.
He's got to pull his head together, but he has reason to be upset.
Yeah,
because
I think so too.
He didn't do anything that was out of bounds in my view.
Yeah, and he obviously doesn't think he did anything again, to be that way. That's Owen Snyder there, helping out with Cindric and Charles of